It was a caution-free race last week at the Daytona International Speedway, and Florida native Derek Hamill went to victory lane to open up the season. Well, now the season officially begins as we come to the trickiest track on the schedule, the Darlington Raceway. Watch out for the exit of turn number 2. It's going to be a wild one here, but only 37 laps for these guys as we run the Mello Yello Zero Sugar 200 here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series 2023 season. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Darlington Raceway. It is Wawa Cup Series finale weekend. We had the Sprint Series finale last night. Tomorrow at noon Eastern Time, it's the Mello Yello Southern 500. We are so excited for that race, but excited for this one as well, the second race of the season in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. 37 laps around the Lady in Black. This is definitely a tricky track, no doubt about it. We obviously saw that come into play last night in the Sprint Series race. That exit of turn 2 is definitely a place to watch out for. But these guys in the trucks run a different physics package, and it may be a little bit difficult for these guys to pass here today. Juan Rodriguez is on the pole. We're alongside Echo Evans-Ross for the call of this race. Great to have you back, Echo. You were in the booth with me for the Sprint race back in May here. What differences will we see in the Truck Series here, knowing that these guys run GNS physics instead of the Cup physics that those guys run in the Sprint Series?
Well, it'll be a lot harder to pass. You got less downforce with these with the GNS package. The tire wear will probably be bigger, and I don't know too much about GNS. I've only really done online with it, but I know that it's a lot harder to pass on GNS compared to Cup or CTS physics. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys play this race out.
It definitely will. Juan Rodriguez in a great position to possibly get this race victory for ST Motorsports. Casey Nanico's on the outside pole. You got Bruno Diacma there. And then starting fourth is Nicolas Samadio. And we'll shift over to talk about the Cup Series here just because tomorrow's race is so big. Nicolas Samadio is the points leader going into tomorrow's race by 3 points on Drew Webb. I'm going to ask you, Echo, do you think he can take anything away from this race here today, knowing that Drew Webb is not in this race?
I think it will be important to get that experience just because you'll get a feel for the tire wear and you'll get a feel for the fuel wear as well, because I think tomorrow's race is a 2-stopper. This is a 1-stopper, I think, so I think that will be good to see for Samadio if he can get on a pit road cleanly and if he can get a feel for the tire wear as well.
And we'll have to see what Mr. Edge can do. Of course, a huge opportunity for him to win his first ever Cup championship tomorrow. It is going to be a great race, and we can't talk it up enough tomorrow at noon Eastern Time. But enough talk about that for now. We got ourselves a truck race to run here today at Darlington. And in the point standings, of course, Derek Hamill, the points leader after winning Daytona, 40 points towards the championship. Roberto Crown Jr. is second, 3 points behind. Nathan Stapleton, Joe Rutkowski had great runs at Daytona, both 6 points behind. And Nicolas Samadio, great opportunity today to take the points lead here in the trucks. He's 7 points behind coming into this one. But we'll go ahead and get these guys to roll off here from Darlington with Juan Rodriguez leading us off. And as I mentioned, alongside Casey Nanico in the 98 for Trackhouse Racing, Bruno Diacamo and Nicolas Samadio make up row number 2. There's your driver, Echo, Thomas Troxel, alongside Noah Clifton in row number 3. Hagar Barretto and John Andrews make up row number 4. Then Caleb Rose, Avery Alford make up row number 5. Make sure everybody else is rolling off all right. As you see the starting lineup on the left-hand side of your screen, Zachary Fitzwater and Trey Bartow both in this race. They're both past winners of this Mello Yello Zero Sugar 200. But Echo, I got to ask you, who do you think is going to get it done here today in this 37-lap race?
Now, don't call me biased, but I think my driver, Thomas Troxel, has a great shot at winning this race.
Definitely a great pick right there. Troxel, a solid driver over in the Cup Series. Still has a mathematical chance at the title over in the Wawa Cup Series, and he's also looking to gain some experience, and maybe he can find something to gain an edge on Drew Webb and Nicolas Samadio tomorrow. Of course, he's in a good truck as well. I know you guys at Evans-Ross Racing put a lot of stuff into your equipment and will throughout the season. Of course, we're still early on in the season, so the ratings are virtually still equal. Of course, there are some differences at this point after 3 ratings forms, but these guys are still going to be all on each other throughout these first few races of the season. About midway through the season, we'll start seeing some drivers really peek out ahead and battle for this title. But Juan Rodriguez, development driver to Trey Smith. Trey Smith won a Turkey Hill National Series championship here a few years ago. We'll have to see if his development driver can get it done here today. Casey Anico, Bruno Diacomo trying to get some wins here. Diacomo trying to get his first ever win on the channel. We'll have to see what he can do. It's 37 laps, and we're green flag racing in the Turkey Hill Truck Series at Darlington.
Good start for the 45.
And Juan Rodriguez with a great jump there. Bruno Diacomo to the inside as well. That inside lane through 1 and 2, absolutely the place you want to be.
But yeah, we saw in the sprint race earlier this season, and probably last night as well, that you gotta hold the inside here, just because the outside is not particularly great. It'll get better as the race goes on, but at the start of the race, you want the inside lane.
No doubt about it, and you can see the top 3 drivers. They all started on the inside lane right there. Juan Rodriguez leads lap 1. Bruno Diacomo there in the 2nd. Thomas Troxel there in 3rd. Nanico files into 4th. And Igor Barreto rounds out the top 5. Of course, we'll have a cycle of pit stops here today. Got about a 21 to 23 lap fuel run here in this race. And you can already tell the way these guys spread out, so much different than what we saw last night in the Sprint Series race. But also, we're not seeing these guys slam the outside wall like they did in the Sprint Series race last night. They really did that a lot last night in that race. But we got the same strength here tonight, or this afternoon, this morning actually, as we had yesterday. So the physics make a lot of difference. Igor Barreto looking to the inside of Bruno Diacomo right there. And there's your driver, Thomas Troxel, who got around Diacomo. Nanico also followed suit, and this 93 is all over the back bumper of Juan Rodriguez for the top position.
Yeah, Troxel got by the 98 there, and I think that Troxel will have a good shot at Gutierrez. Maybe not, though. Here comes 98 again.
Yeah, Casey Nanico back to the inside there for 2nd. Great run here for Trackhouse Racing here today. Igor Barreto up to 4th there, and Diacomo slipped back to the 5th position. Caleb Rose, great run for Nathan Orman after a struggle at Daytona last week. Good to see him run top 10. Nicholas Samadio hanging on there. Started in the 4th position, fell back to 8th. Avery Alford, definitely a big day for him yesterday. And then Josh Williamson rounds out the top 10 for Triad Racing. You can tell most of these guys kind of spread out here, kind of getting single file. Orman making a move on Caleb Rose, and Alfred making a move on Samadio, and Samadio in the outside wall, and that might just be the biggest hit we've seen so far today.
Yeah, I think as the tires wear out, you're going to see them start to get in the wall a little more, just because when the tires wear out, it gets you have a lot less room to maneuver with where you're going, and so the wall becomes way more inviting.
Especially off the exit of turn number 2, and that was a big point of contention yesterday in the sprint race. You know, we're not expecting it to be as much of an issue tomorrow because of the driver ratings coming into play for the Cup Series, but we're still going to see it in tomorrow's race. And keep in mind, tomorrow's race is 92 laps. This is only 37 here. This is a sprint race compared to what we got going on tomorrow. But these guys hanging in line right now, and as you can see, it is difficult to make a move on the leader. Juan Rodriguez has led every lap so far in this 45, looking for his first career win on the channel. Just as I say that, though, Casey Nanico's got a nose to the inside, and Barreto's got a nose on Troxel. We got 2 battles, going to keep him in frame right here. No one in the outside wall, which is good to see, but Nanico's going to take the race lead away on lap 7.
98 made a power move going through 1 there, got to the inside of the 45 mid-corner, and just made it stick. The 13's not really been able to make it stick, though. In the 93, Troxel's doing a really good job holding on the outside.
We're going to have to see if this 13 can hold the inside into the corner. Not going to be the case. Rodriguez back around Nanico for the race lead. That's going to open the door for Troxel as that 98 really got out of the groove there through 1 and 2. Caleb Rose on the outside wall back in there. Andrew Williams, Josh Williamson, and Avery Alford all surpassing him. And we missed, we were like right there for a second, and we still missed a pass for the race lead. I don't know how we do it. We find strange ways to miss that. Right around there on lap number 8, I should say, Juan Rodriguez taking it back away from Nanico. But Nanico does have a bonus point for leading that lap. Here comes Barreto on Troxel. That is for the 3rd position. Troxel's got to be careful here, and he's going to tap the wall. I'm sure you don't like to see that.
Pretty big hit there. It'll buff out.
It's another thing to keep in mind, too. The more damage these guys accumulate from hitting an outside wall, generally the longer they're on the pit lane to repair the damage. That's kind of the nature of how it's done here at Darlington, and that's something Troxel and Samadio, who are 2 guys who have struggled here in this realm. Well, Troxel hasn't struggled too much, but Samadio has absolutely struggled, and I'm sure this is something that he's thinking about tomorrow. It's like, I can't have this happen tomorrow if I'm going to win the championship. He's in the outside wall again. There goes Rutkowski, Logan Williams, Roberto Crown Jr. there as well. Aaron Abel to the inside. And San Mateo falling outside the top 20 right there. It's a tough break for him. How about Trey Bartow in the 18? Won this race all the way back in Season 2. I think that was 2015. And currently running in the 14th position right there for the Beacon Quantum Racing organization. Nathan Stapleton, solid run for him to the inside of Caleb Rose. That is for the, if I can do my math correctly here, or actually find it here, that is for the 12th position there. John Andrews there for the 49 team in 11th, and then you got Chris Reynolds. A great day for Angel Gutierrez's team right here. Both Nathan Ormond and Chris Reynolds inside the top 10 here. We're on lap number 12. And they're all over the back bumper of Juan Rodriguez right here. Casey Anico, Igor Brito, Bruno Diacomo, and Nathan Ormond all in a line right here. And any one of these 5 guys could win this race if they have a good pit stop. But that pit stop's really going to determine who gets the race victory.
Caleb Rose has really dropped back. I think he's hit the wall like 3 times now in just these first 11 laps. He's really sliding back in the 33. And interestingly as well, I think the 39 of Williams has gained a lot of spots. He started towards the back, but he's moved up close to the top 15. I don't think he's in the top 15, but pretty close to it right now.
17th right now for Williams. Started 31st. A solid run for him. All these guys going to get around the 33 machine of Caleb Rose right there. And Caleb Rose sliding back there in that 33 machine. Here we go for 4th. Nathan Ormond. Hey, he's got a chip on his shoulder from last week, I know that much. He's definitely utilizing that to his advantage. Up to the 4th position there for Angel Mafia Motorsports there. And Bruno Diacomo slips back to the 5th position. But with how spread out these guys are, if you get stuck in that outside lane. As for the race lead, we got it this time. Nanico on Rodriguez. Rodriguez in the outside wall. Here comes Barreto in the 13. Now here's the interesting thing. Igor Barreto driving for Drew Webb in this race. Drew Webb driving for Igor Barreto tomorrow. You know those guys have been working together all season to have a strong race car in the Wawa Cup Series. Well, already they got a strong race truck here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series, and Barreto up to 2nd. Going to try to close in on this 98 of Casey Anico for the race lead.
Yeah, even if Webb isn't in this race, Barreto can still give some really good feedback about how the track is, how the tires are, because they run basically the same tires. Maybe just a little bit different with the fuel wear. But this is still going to be important because Webb can still gain a lot just from hearing what Barreto will tell him about how the track works.
And of course, I know they are focused in on tomorrow's race and trying to figure out how to get Drew Webb past Nicholas Sambidio in the championship. Here we go. Barreto's going to try to get around Nanico. You know, we've seen a lot more passing than I expected here today. Nanico's got to be careful there on the outside. He will not hit the outside wall, but Barreto gonna hold the inside here. We'll have to see if that 98 can get the outside lane to work through 3 and 4. And that's the place to be once we get later on in the run, usually. But not enough grip there yet for the 98. And Barreto will clear the race lead. Our 3rd different leader here at Darlington. It's Igor Barreto for Webb Racing Enterprises.
Barreto really powered it down on exit of 4 there. First time I've really seen someone actually be able to drive away from someone on the inside lane in 3 and 4. Most of the time, the outside's been able to hold serve there.
Lots of times that outside lane does get the advantage in 3 and 4, but not all the time. If you get high enough, there's not enough grip on that way outside lane. A little bit different than how the real-life Darlington Raceway works, but we got such a unique racetrack here. It's why we have the Cup finale here. Such a fun place, such a tricky place, and of course, in tomorrow's Cup finale, the Southern 500, those ratings are going to absolutely come into play. Good run for Andrew Williams and Ryan Durrani Incorporated. They're top 10 right now. I would argue that anyone top 12 at this point, Andrews and Stapleton included, could still have a good shot at winning this race if they have a good enough pit stop and maybe pull a little strategy. When we had the Cup Series here back in May, Seth Cole won the race coming down the pit lane 2 laps later than everybody else. That race went caution-free. This race has a caution-free feel to it. And we have ourselves pit stops in just a couple of laps. Have to see if anyone does decide to stretch it and maybe have the fresher tires near the end of the run like Seth Cole did in the Cup race. The only thing is, I don't think the tire wear is going to be as significant. We run a smaller fuel cell for the truck series, but the tire wear is still the same as it will be for tomorrow's race. So these guys aren't going to wear out as much to the end of a run as they will tomorrow. So may not be as much of an advantage to come down later and have a stronger run late in the going. Rodriguez back to the inside on Nanico for 2nd. One guy who has gone up this entire race. That's Nathan Orman. Has not fallen back
Orman,
position this entire day, and he is right there behind Rodriguez and Anico trying to get a couple more positions.
Ormond has looked very fast, as well as the 45 has still been able to keep up with the leaders, even after falling out of it. And the 93 and 38 haven't fallen back that much either. It's about seven trucks that have pulled away here a little bit, and I mean, it's not really a pull away because I think 8th place, the 25, is starting to close up on this group too now, so.
These guys are not pulling away from each other. Agar Barreto still leading, but they have not been able to gap anybody, and they've kind of stayed right in a line this entire race, and they're going to be coming down here soon as Eric Drew in the 3 machine has an issue, 3 laps down. That happened probably around lap 19. So tough break for Eric there. He's the only driver a lap down. I know those guys had a lot of hopes this season of having a strong run, you know, still early on in the season. Back in the field, Sebastian Kukulon's down the pit lane. Of course, he was a little bit deeper. Oh no, Barreto blew up! The race leader just blew up! Oh my goodness! These guys, I tell you, they've had so many troubles all season long. Here's your guy coming down. Only driver coming down on this lap. And then Caleb Rose as well on the 33. Oh my goodness. Drew Webb, Agar Barreto, they just cannot catch a break, no matter who's owning or who's driving. Barreto's going to be done right there. Nanico's back out front. We'll have to see if Trosilo gains on these guys, because they're going to have an advantage. Here we go, Nanico. Orman staying out. I don't know if that's going to work for him. We'll have to see if that later run works. Nanico, Rodriguez, Diacomo, and here comes the majority of the field down the pit lane on lap 23.
And to think that's not even the worst problem to happen to Drew Webb or Igor Barreto from the lead this season.
I know. That's probably the third, actually, worst one. Here comes Nanico, Juan Rodriguez, Diacomo, Avery Alford. All these guys with an opportunity at getting a win here, and these are guys who have not run too much this season or have not run up front too much this season in anything on the channel. Nanico only his second start of the year. Looking to get a win here at the Darlington Raceway. And that 93, like I said, they took a little bit of time repairing the damage on that machine. And I'm wondering if the same can be said for Caleb Rose. That may have been why those guys came down as early as they did. But we'll follow here with the 45. Juan Rodriguez there. Nanico was the race leader, and he will win the race off of those guys right there.
They will have the advantage of having fresher tires for longer than these guys, so they can make up some time. But I think that time might have been given up by how long they spent on pit road fixing the damage that they got from hitting the wall.
Nanico way out and ahead there for Trackhouse Racing. Hey, Reggie Fogelman finally got a win as an owner in the IndyCar Series in Michigan about a month ago with Caleb Rose. He may get a second one here today as that 98 has a pretty clear advantage. We'll have to see what Ormond and these guys can do. Don't think that 24 is going to beat the 98 off the pit lane. However, Ormond is going to still be in contention here because he's not going to be too far behind, kind of stuck behind Sam Adeo. I think Sam Adeo in the 23 may end up being a lap down because he had the damage. Chris Reynolds in the mix here as well. I think he's up to the second position, but Nanico clear out and ahead here as we have ourselves now 11 laps to go on this Mello Yello Zero Sugar 200. No, we actually have still 12 laps to go at the line for Nanico. Nathan Stapleton in the 61 was still on the pit lane. Now it has cycled through, and that 98 has about 2 seconds on second place. Chris Reynolds, not a good day for Grattan Autosport. Both Derek Hamill and Nicholas Sambadio a lap down right now. As a matter of fact, got quite a few guys a lap down. Andrew Miller, Roberto Crown Jr., both the Grattan cars. And then Laura Chung in the 5. And then an ignition issue on Agar Barreto is going to cause him to finish in last place. 3.4 seconds for Casey Nanico here at Darlington. How about this one for Trackhouse Racing?
He's got a huge lead, but the thing is that he's not really got a group with him, and those cars that are behind are still pretty grouped up. And I think that if you're grouped up, you're still a little bit faster. I don't know how much faster it'll be. But the other thing is the 25 jumped a ton of positions on that pit stop. He was like 8th before the cycle, and he's up to 2nd now. So impressive for the 25 of Chris Reynolds.
Stuck behind Nicholas Sambadio right here. And how about the other Webb Racing Enterprises car? Igor blew up from the lead, but Brian Webb in the 99 up to third now. Great run for Drew Webb's team right here, at least for the 99. Orman slipping back a little bit, but he does have the advantage of staying out an extra lap. He's going to have those slightly fresher tires, but Logan Williams looking to the inside, might get this position. Good run for Logan here, running be fifth if he gets around Nathan Ormond. Nearly 4 seconds, and Ormond hard in the outside wall right there. Andrew Williams, Diacomo, and Nathan Stablen in the top 10. Shane Lake rounds out the top 10 in the 88 machine, as they look to get around Nathan Ormond, who just slammed the outside wall right there. But how about this 98 machine? What a drive for Casey Nanico and Trackhouse Racing here today at Darlington.
They've looked strong all day. Started up front, just held on to it for a good bit and had a great pit stop to get themselves this far out in front of the field. Unless we get a caution, I think they might have it, but you never know with the kind of issues we've seen. I mean, we've already had one truck blow up from the lead, so...
Yeah. And we've had many issues from the lead all season, all year long, in all the different series on the channel. I will say, though, it's not like Chris Reynolds is closing in. Oh my goodness! It's the other Webb car! Brian Webb with an issue in the 99! And if he doesn't get back around here, we could see ourselves a yellow flag. That 99 is very much off the pace. Oh, are we going to have a late race restart? Is he going to stop?
I don't think he's going to make it back.
He's not. He's definitely not going to make it back. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. There it is.
There it is.
Oh, boy. Now, you know what? I think we're going to have a one-lap dash. I think because Nanico did take that lap, and it'll be 5 to go across the line. It's a 4-lap caution here at Darlington. So if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be a one-lap dash. That is absolutely the worst thing you wanted to see if you were Casey Nanico. And he's not going to have any lap cars in between him and Chris Reynolds here either. Oh my goodness. What... I hope, maybe Drew Webb is kind of just getting it all out of the way today so that tomorrow he's got the opportunity. But I tell you what, nobody, I know Drew Webb's won 6 races in the Cup Series this year, but nobody has had worse luck than Drew Webb. And my whole time doing NR, I've never seen one guy have so many problems happen to him. Both of his drivers with mechanical issues here today. There's a tire down on Sam and Ozkin that we didn't catch. Lots been going on here in this race. And the 99 of Brian Webb now a lap down. Not a good day at all for Webb Racing Enterprises, especially considering both of those drivers were running up front in the top 5 at one point.
Yeah, they were both really fast. Both had a shot to win, and just the bad luck of reliability struck both of their cars at such an inopportune time.
Well, we'll go ahead and quickly review what happened there to Brian Webb and maybe get an official word on what happened to the 99. And we'll get to the restart here in the Mello Yello Zero Sugar 200. Who's going to get it? Will it be Nanico, Reynolds, Alford here? Sam Badillo is a lap down. Keep that in mind. Probably going to be one of those 3 getting it done here at Darlington. Let's see who gets it done here after we review what happened to Brian Webb down the backstretch. So this right here, obviously we saw this happen live. Brian Webb in the 99 with a tire issue. It was tire damage 2. And as Echo was explaining to me, that essentially means that they're not going to get back around. And that was not the case for Brian Webb. And stopped on the racing surface. And the racing surface applies all the way down there for this racetrack. And the caution was triggered. Going to give us a 1-lap dash to the finish with Casey Nanico and his 4-second lead erased. Will Chris Reynolds or Avery Alford have a shot? Let's see how it all goes down here in the Mello Yello Zero Sugar 200 from Darlington. We're back here at the Darlington Raceway. Mello Yello Zero Sugar 200. Oh boy, what if we get something like this tomorrow? Both of Drew Webb's cars, or trucks I should say, Igor blew up from the lead, and Brian Webb with a tire issue, which is what brought out the caution. He's a lap down in the 99. Actually, 3 laps down in the 99. You couldn't ask for a worse race, could you? Like I said, maybe Drew Webb's trying to get it out here, so he has the good luck tomorrow and wins the Wawa Cup Series Championship. Hey, we got a race to decide here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. Casey Nanico, Chris Reynolds, and Avery Alford looking to go back-to-back. He won last night in the Sprint Series. Could he pull it off here in the Truck Series? Logan Williams is fourth. Sam Medeiros a lap down. Hamill's also a lap down, our last winner there. Andrew Williams is fifth. Stapleton, Diacomo, Shane Lake, John Andrews, Ludovic Charette inside the top 10. Odds are the race winner is going to be one of the top three, either Nanico or Reynolds, most likely. Let's see.
98 needs to get a good restart, because if he slides up in the corner, it's probably over.
One lap dash here at Darlington. Let's see who gets it done. Trackhouse Racing, Angel Mafia Motorsports, and Big Motorsports going for the race win. Let's see who gets it here in the Mello Yello Zero 200. Pace trucks down. Here we go. One to go. It's the green and white at the same time.
Good restart for the 98. He got exactly the kind of restart he needed.
We'll have to see how he goes through 1 and 2. Will Chris Reynolds be able to close in on the 98 machine? Keep in mind, Nanico had a 4-second lead before this caution came out, so you know he wants this.
He'll have one shot here in 3 and 4, I think, the 25 will.
Yeah, he's just too far behind.
Just a little too far back. And the 98's doing a good job just holding the line.
Reynolds might have one shot and maybe making a move here. It's not going to be enough. Casey Nanico wins the Mello Yello Zero Sugar 200 at Darlington for Reggie Fogelman's team. Chris Reynolds, Avery Alford, Logan Williams, and Andrew Williams. The brothers there, 4th and 5th. They all stayed in the line right there, and I think that's where we saw the GNS physics come into play. It was a little hard to pass there, but a one-lap dash, and Casey Nanico, he deserved that win after the dominating run he had after that cycle of pit stops. Good to see that that caution did not cost him the race victory here today. But my goodness.
Run for Williams.
Yeah, for both
Logan Williams. Yeah.
Both Logan and Andrew.
Yeah, Logan went from 31st to 4th in just about 40 laps, so pretty strong. I think that could also be something that these guys can look at for the race tomorrow.
Absolutely. Of course, Logan Williams in that race tomorrow. Of course, his teammate is Nicholas Amadeo there at Appalachian Motorsports. We'll have to see Andrew Williams. How about the Williams brothers there? 4th and 5th right there. But like you mentioned, Echo, of course, your driver there, Logan Williams, from 31st to 4th in only 37 laps. So you guys obviously had that thing set up well. It's a tough break for your other driver, Thomas Troxel, who was up front earlier, finished 22nd. But I think the big story of this race, obviously Casey Nanico winning. Igor Barreto, Brian Webb for Webb Racing Enterprises, both with mechanical issues in this race, and both while they were in the top 5 for Igor Barreto's case while he was leading. And maybe something in the mind of Drew Webb now for tomorrow, and obviously because he's had that issue happen to him as of late in the Wawa Cup Series. And it's a tight one. Nicholas Amadeo's got 3 points ahead of Drew Webb, and he got Troxel 17 behind, and Matt Took 19 behind. I'm going to ask you, Echo, you'll be in that race tomorrow as well. Who do you think has the best shot at winning the Wawa Cup Series Championship tomorrow with 92 laps here at Darlington?
I think Drew Webb will probably have the best shot, assuming he doesn't have another reliability issue. He's been so fast the entire chase. I think it's Webb's to lose, but if something goes wrong, I think it could come down to Samadeo or Troxel or anybody else who's in that mix.
We're just going to have to see where everyone ends up starting. Of course, obviously you guys already know that from seeing the starting grid from yesterday's sprint race. As of the time of me recording this, I don't know, but and let's put it this way. Where they start could very well determine where they end up finishing. We know Drew Webb's been very good in qualifying. San Mateo's kind of been a little hit or miss, I feel like, with that. I don't know. It's 3 points. All San Mateo needs to do is finish ahead of Drew Webb and finish high enough where Troxel and Matt Tuck don't have a chance, and he's got the championship. But mathematically, 8 drivers have a chance at winning this Wawa Cup Series title. Realistically, 4 guys have a decent chance, and then it really is between San Mateo and Webb. But if something crazy happens, that opens up the door for everybody else. And what a season it has been over there in the Wawa Cup Series, and just looking forward to see who gets it done. How about Casey Nanico getting it done here at Darlington? It's been a while since Nanico's gotten a win on the channel, and only his second start of the season as well, so good job for those guys. Chris Reynolds in second, Avery Alfred in third. A lot of guys who have not run, well in the Cup Series, or in the Cup Series at all for that matter, running up front here today at Darlington. But as we move on throughout the season here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series, we'll start to see certain drivers really get an advantage on others, and it'll definitely be clear who's the good drivers and who are not the stronger drivers in the series. Next race, next Friday night, from Richmond Raceway, the Virginia is for Lovers 250. That'll be a fun one for the first short track of the season here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. And of course, tomorrow at noon Eastern Time, Sunday, September 3rd, it is the Mello Yello Southern 500, the Wawa Cup Series Championship race. Can't wait for it. It's going to be a blast. Thank you guys so much for watching here today from Darlington. Enjoy some college football today. And on behalf of Echo Evans Ross, congratulations to Casey and Nico for getting the race victory here at Darlington. Here are the point standings for the Turkey Hill Truck Series after 2 races. And I will see you guys later.